people were just like, go to the police, go to the police, go to the police. But it's important to realize that the police were not helpful, okay? Hey everyone, happy 2020. It's Jazzy and I'm back with another video. Today's video is on some tips for expat who are living abroad, whether you're solo, in a couple, or a family. And these are some things I wish I had known prior to the whole fiasco with the missing expat this weekend. And had I known these things or done these things prior to this, I probably wouldn't have spent so much time at the police station, at immigration, whatever. So basically, someone reached out to me and they asked me to help locate someone who lived in Da Nang. And so I was like, all right. I did some research online and found that she had been posting on her blog, and so I was like, I think she's okay, I'm not going to get involved. A few weeks later, a few other people reached out to me and was like, hey, there's this missing expat who lives in Da Nang, can you please help out, go to the police station? And I was like, all right. They said that maybe the blog post had been scheduled, and so I was like, all right, let me see what I can do, because I would feel horrible if something happens to someone, and there was something that I could have done, especially with me living here in Da Nang. Also, one of the ladies who had reached out to me asking me to get involved had already reported her missing through the embassy. And so that's when I was like, all right, this sounds really serious. Let me see what I can do. And when they first brought this to my attention, I did email the fellow expat to try to get in touch with her, and nothing. And I went to her website and acted as if I was a client and sent her an email that way, and still nothing. And then I sent another email a week later saying, hey, we're just checking on your welfare. Can you please let us know you're okay? Like, I don't need to know none of your business. I respect your privacy. We're just checking to make sure you're okay. Still nothing. So after people kept tagging me, I was like, all right, let me get involved in this. So I made a post to try to, and I posted it in the local groups here to ask around. No one had seen her. So then I made a post on my Instagram that was shared across all type of platforms. I was able to get a little bit more information, and it still was no signs of this woman. So I went to the police station here in Da Nang. When I first got there, my translator hadn't arrived yet, but I was like, well, let me see how much I can get done with Google Translate. And I said, hey, I'd like to report my friend missing. And they're like, what did you lose? And I was like, my friend. And they're like, what? And like, I'm like, a person, they don't understand. And finally, someone else understands, and they send me to a different police station. And by this time, the translator arrived, and so we go to the city side, which is like the main police station. That police station sends me to another police station. That third police station sends me to immigration. I'm like, yes, this is where I'm going to get the answers, because of course they'll be able to tell me, like, hey, has she renewed a visa? Oh, that's another thing. I reached out to visa agents to see if she had renewed any visas lately. Reached out to friends, reached out to locals. No one had seen or heard from her in a very long time. She had no posts in September. So people did have a genuine concern. And then the immigration office sent me back to the police station and said that I needed to, they didn't have a missing person form. They said to fill out all the information that I had for her, print it out, have it translated, and then bring it back to the police station. Yeah, and so after that, I did more research, and because, I don't know if it's because I watched the first 48 or because I've dated a lot of trifling men, I know how to, research some shit. So I did enough research, and I actually found out that this woman was okay. I had to do some catfishing, y'all. And yeah, she's fine. But with all of that, I realized that there are certain things, so this could have been different. People were sending me messages telling me about their friends who were found, bodies were found in New Zealand, or people that were missing in Santra since last year. And so this is a genuine concern, and these things do happen. So I did have some tips that I gathered for you guys to make it to where this doesn't happen again. So number one, if you are living in a place that is, you know, thriving with expats like Playa del Carmen, I know Merida has one, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, whatever, there's a form that I feel is very important to have, and every expat should fill it out and let a few people have access to this just in case anything like this happens again. Because I didn't know her address to go to her house. I didn't know her mom's information. I'm not friends with her on Facebook anymore because my Facebook was disabled a few months ago and I had to make a new one. So I couldn't go through her friends list to contact family. I did contact people who had commented on there, but they didn't reach back out. So having a Google form where there's an emergency contact form that you fill out is really important. That has your address, your phone number, you know, your name that's on your passport, things like that. That way, at that information, I wouldn't have had to spend as much time on or at the police stations. Another thing is, if you are very active on social media and you take a break, and this is something that I know that I've struggled with too, because I do disappear and I take breaks for my mental health, but I've noticed that because I'm so active on social media, because of the work that I do, people will look for me. You know, there have been times when I took a break and people have reached out to my husband, people reached out to my friend, just making sure I was okay. And so if you are prevalent online, it's important for you, and it's unfortunate that this is how it is now, but it's important for you to announce that you will be away for a while, or just respond or have an automatic message that goes out to your email that's saying, hey, I'm fine, I'm just unplugging, you know, because people get concerned, especially when you're a solo female traveler. And also, it's important for us to not become desensitized to this, so that if and when something does happen, people are not automatically assuming that you're just taking a break. It's important that, you know, you're talking to people back home and you're checking in regularly with them. That way, if something is off, people will recognize it almost immediately, to where it's not months. I didn't get hold of this information until she was offline for 2 months. And yeah, and another thing is, if people are looking for you and they're reaching out to your family, it's not to be nosy. It's because people are genuinely concerned and things happen. So don't be having your motherfucking family cussing people out. That's rude, because people are looking and concerned for a fellow female solo traveler. Like, but I'm not even going to tap onto that right now. I'm going to tap on myself. Okay, I'm not gonna get into this. Don't ask me no questions about that shit. But let me just say, I digress. You know, people were just like, go to the police, go to the police, go to the police. But it's important to realize that the police were not helpful, okay? A lot of times in these foreign countries too, like, you have to kind of bribe the police too if you really want to get information. And that's another thing. So with all that being said, I do think that it's important for us to have people who will look out for us, an emergency contact form for our groups. But what I will say is that when this shit went down, y'all, the community showed up and showed out. Like, we were on it. People were sending me information, clues, tips, tricks, which helped me in my investigative hat. And I did realize that, I got skills when it comes to investigative work. So if y'all need a PI, holla at me, okay? Rates are still really cheap right now. But I did crack this case, and I'm grateful that I did, and I'm happy that everything was fine. And I never want to get to the point, even the way that we were treated based on, like, this, I still don't ever want to get to the point where I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to just mind my business. And I do mind my business. However, if there's something like this that happens, I can't turn a blind eye to this, because, y'all, stuff happens to us out here. And so it really is important for us as an expat community of color, watch out for each other, right? Expats in general, but just knowing that, like, ain't nobody going to look out for you like a fellow sister's going to look out for you, you know? y'all already know how black women roll. Like when people brought this to me, I was like the first 48, and within 48 hours I had answers. It's really important to have people on your side and on your team who are going to look out for each other. And I'm so happy that we were able to do this and get to the bottom of this, and that this woman is okay. So with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any questions, unless it's about this case in particular, I'm not answering any questions about this. Information that I'm giving is the information that I gave, okay? So that's all. But again, be safe, take care of each other, look out for each other. I know a lot of us are loners, especially if we're solo travelers, but it's important that people know where you are. They ain't got to be all in your business, but just give somebody some, a radius of where to look for your ass if some shit go down, is all I'm saying. All right. But that's all I have. I hope that 2021 is a magnificent year for all of you guys. Until then, I'm out. Peace.